us, Eric, over here.
Yep, we're going to do a little bit of Kali. So if you've been following the channel, we did the scissor series. I did it with just the single tool, and then I did the double stick version last week. But the scissor is like a limb destruction or gunting. The idea for the most part is that replaces your block, right? Because in Kali, any type of a weapon, you don't want to be caught blocking all the time because it leaves you open. Even when I'm blocking, I'm actually hitting. But as a training method, we train block and attack, counter for counter, or what we call Sumbrada. So this is known as the simple Sumbrada. So right now, he's going to block this one by doing an inside sweep. So he's just crossing the body, and you guys might not be able to see from the camera, but if you don't move here a sec, see this forms kind of a triangle with his shoulders, and that means the object is ahead of his shoulder. So if I were to swing in front as hard as I can, there's no way I can touch his shoulder because the object is in front of him. It's also covering his rib cage, which, see, because of the triangle, the tip of his elbow is out of the way. There's no way I can hit this and try to hit him in the elbow at the same time. Same thing with just the top of his head. So when I go this way, the tip covers the top of my head. The center is in front of my lead shoulder, and I can put my hand on it, but see my elbow is behind the stick. I mentioned that because you'll see people, they'll do stuff like this, and then you can clearly see the tip of my elbow. So just like you jab somebody, and you see what kind of person they are. Do they retreat? Do they shell up? Do they try to parry an angle? Do they try to shoot? So you're like probing for information. So sometimes when you take a swing at somebody, you can see like, oh man, when this guy blocked, I can take advantage of this or that. But even easier is I see him blocking and I can just smash the hand instead. So blocking is not really popular among most of the groups in Filipino martial arts, because how are you going to block a weapon? How are you going to block a knife? You can't like put your arm up against it. So we teach blocking as a way of defense, but as you get more efficient at it, you're actually always hitting the person. So same with you too.
Yeah.
See, right now he's blocking the stick and he checks the hand. But in reality, what he should do is smash my hand and check the arm.
Oh,
yes,
smash
don't really do it, but yeah, smash it. Yeah, that would really be how that would work. Every block is like that. So we'll go stick to stick for a minute. So progression 1 would be stick. He goes to a low backhand. I connect to the stick and I feed the overhead. He does the umbrella and he clears the hand. So I go to the stick. He goes to the stick and he goes over to the top of the head, and I go to the stick. But in reality, you smash the hand here. Yeah, and if that didn't get me, if you actually blocked it and you do a low backhand, see, I want to actually be here, but for safety, I'm here. But see, this is the same structure, whether it's like this or like this, it doesn't matter. It could be different kind of blocking also. Same thing when I go over the top, he would try to smash the forearm, smash the elbow, hit to the chin, and clear the hand with the free hand. See, that would be it. See, then you can get another hit right here, this way. So blocking is a way of training, but you really don't want to see yourself as like, oh, I'm so defensive, I'm going to block all these shots. Like think about like a baseball bat swing. Eric's swinging the home run, and I'm going to sit here and go, all right, this is it. No, wait, I'm going to get out of the way. That's where the scissor series comes in. So if we play this game here, we just play this pattern, and Eric's sharpening his Kali skills for you guys. So you're getting a good freaky day. That's it. So we're all weapon to weapon. But on the angle 1, anytime I want to think about the scissoring, I'm just going to go largo mano and touch the hand. So my other hand, I could do this, but the first one is just largo mano. So long range, it's still a scissor. And now I'm not near him at all. So I'm going to feed you the low backhand and step in, and we're going to go back to the pattern. That's it. So that would be step 1. Is just evade the thing altogether. I'm just not going to be here, and I'm going to get out of the way, but I'm going to return to the pattern. As we get better at this, I'm just going to hit him anywhere I want, and it'll be his job to defend. We're not going to do that.
Thank you.
You can hit me anywhere. How do you defend that? There you go. Go back. Doesn't matter. Just hit me anywhere. 1, that's it. Okay, see, I can scissor that too. That time I used my hand because I was still in middle range. But let's go back to the pattern here. So So the next one, which I don't like, is they'll throw the hand like that and they'll touch the arm. But see, I have to create an arc so this doesn't hit me in the head. I have to dodge or hiss and get off to the side. It can work, but every time I've done this at sparring speed, I just get clipped in the head. I don't really like it. I like backing up and hitting it, and I like this one. Some people say it's not a true scissor. So we just mentioned smashing the hand. So what I generally do is I smash the hand here, and now I lift the stick this way. So smash lift, which I did a version of on the double stick. So what happens is when he's swinging, see, I cut the heat off of it a little bit, and then I'm still able to go around and throw it. So it still creates a scissor. And I'm not going to go into follow-ups today, but just the scissor I did. Then there's one more that I like even better, but it is definitely not a scissoring motion, it's a jam. So when he feeds me an angle one this time, I still smash the hand, but I push his hand towards him. See, the scissor goes around my own stick. See, I go around, that's the scissor. This jam is I hit the hand, but now I'm going to shove it at you.
Yeah.
But I really like that, because now you're nowhere near me, and I can pull off with you again. See, I can see it.
Yeah,
see, there's so much off balancing on that, and I get a direct hit back to the target. So you go back to the pattern, and you install those 3 variables. Largo mono, just hit the hand on its own. Actually, technically there's 4. Lee hiss, dodge, and hit the arm or body. Connect with the block, which is really a strike with the hand, and go around your own stick to create a scissor. And the 4th one would be to hit it and reach across to the knuckle and jam. Nice. So I'm not going to do all of them at once, but we're just going to be playing this game. And I'm just going to like hit one, and I'm still going to feed you the low backhand, and then you can hit me the overhead. That's it. So we just try to keep the flow going. He doesn't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to hit one, and then I'm going to come back. That's it. And like I said later, this is more sparring oriented. Like I would just hit just wherever you want to hit, and you can hit me too. Any natural swing that you want to hit. Yeah, you got to hit it. That's it. Okay? So these will really come into play if you don't have armor on. Protective gear is another thing because people take a hit to the hand, and they'll be like, oh, that didn't hurt, and they'll still whack you. But if I just like tap your knuckles, it's gonna slow the thing down. And even if he's still taking a pretty good swing, this is gonna stall enough. Even if it clips me, it's not gonna be, it'll be survivable, right? But if somebody's fresh and somebody's here going, that is not the time to engage.
Yeah.
So which one am I gonna do? I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to do largo mono. So just because you want to block or you want to counter doesn't mean the opponent is giving you the reaction to do that thing, right? Just like we were talking about in jiu-jitsu yesterday. So I have to do what's appropriate and what he's giving me. If the guy is like super athletic and just hacking away, it wouldn't be the time to just go forward and engage.
Yeah.
So, but then I'll give you a few fundamentals. So we covered the simple Sumbrada, the 3 count, counter for counter. And I gave you 4 ways to deal with the angle 1 deflection that are based on the scissoring principle.
That's kind of same thing like boxing, whatever. Something like just throwing haymakers. Like it's not the greatest idea to just like stand right in front of
and show up. Yeah.
Yeah. If you like use that forward and get out of the way, they're gonna open themselves.
Right. Use your jab. I mean, pretty much every amateur MMA match. Because by the time they get to pro, they stop doing it. But you go to like, we have some venues in town that Rosa. Yeah, we call him the tornado. But round 1, the beginner MMA fighter, he just comes out of the gate.
Oh, for sure.
Oftentimes, we always prepare for that because it's probably going to happen. And we had a guy, Nicky, he knocked the dude down with his jab.
Yeah.
Because the guy was just swinging away and he was just open, and after like a minute and a half of getting jabbed in the face, he buckled him just with his jab.
Yeah.
But I've seen the other thing happen too. The shell is a really valid point that Coach Eric just made, is you just take a punishment.
Yeah.
But you also see people that go, oh, you like that game plan? I'm going to do that too. Yeah. And they'll start swinging and make themselves susceptible to the other person's brawling kind of tactic. So it's the same thing here. You see somebody swinging, you shouldn't have the idea to be like, I'm going to do the same thing, because you're just going to expose yourself to punishment. So it's like, oh man, you're not that intelligent, you're just gonna hack away. I'm gonna use a little more smart tactics and strategy to deal with it rather than brute force.
Better to be good than tough.
Yeah,
Any day of the week.
Man, I want to be genuinely tough looking. Scary dude. All right, Warriors, thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions on the drill, you can always hit us up, and we'll be back next week on Monday with some MMA, striking, JKD, that sort of thing. But love you all. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend, Warriors.
Out.